So the first classic metal album I'll be reviewing for this podcast is Strapping Young Lad's Alien. Here's a bit of background information to start. Strapping Young Lad was founded by Devin Townsend in 1994. It was originally a one-man band, and that remained so on the debut album, Heavy as a Really Heavy Thing. By the time City had come out in 1997, Strapping had a four-man lineup that consisted of Devi, Jed Simon on guitars, Byron Stroud on bass, and the human drumming machine himself, Gene Hoglan. Together, this lineup released 4 albums, including the aforementioned City, the self-titled album in 2003, Alien in 2005, which I'll be getting to, and The New Black in 2006. The band had a very chaotic, angry fusion of industrial, thrash, and extreme metal. Devin Townsend also had his skullet at the time, which meant he was this really pissed off badass who took nobody's shit, and that attitude is taken to its absolute apex on the album we are talking about today, Alien. So, right off the bat, this is one of my top 50 metal albums of all time. I did have Empath on that list as the token Devi pick, but after re-listening to this one, I have to switch out Empath with Alien. And why is that? Well, first off, this is a relentless assault on your senses for 55 fucking minutes, and at no point does it overstay its welcome. Even during the final track, Info Dump, which is just an experimental noise song. Right from the beginning of the album, you're taken on an adventure into Devin Townsend's mind, which was a complete mess at the time, more on that later. And the album doesn't feel its length because you're so fascinated at what's going on in his head. The way he engrosses you into the music and the stories he is telling is borderline cinematic, and that's something I find to be really overlooked about this album and, well, Devin Townsend in general, and that's the story being told. We know about the riffs. We know about the amazing drumming by Gene Hoglan. We know the incredibly angsty and pissed off vocal performance from Devi, but it's all in service of the story being told. Devin is taking you on a journey with Alien, and the journey he's taking you on is through his, at the time, very messed up mind. So, some background on that. Back in 1998, about 7 years before Alien came out, Devi was diagnosed as bipolar. He was an alcohol and drug user at the time, which I'm sure exacerbated the issue, and he was also given antipsychotic medication for his bipolar disorder, which I'm sure gelled really well with what he was already doing. Anyways, he started doubting his diagnosis right around the time this album was being written, and he decided to give up his meds, but still do all the other shit. This, of course, completely fucked him up, and it led to the mental roller coaster that is this album. And this is what I love about this album more than anything else. It's a completely emotionally honest expression of the artist's state of mind. Now, sometimes that doesn't work, but the difference here is that everything around the emotional state being expressed is fucking awesome. Seriously, the riffs, the solos, the drumming, the industrial ambience, the vocals, the production is all so fucking awesome, so fucking intense, and so fucking chaotic. The music is just as all over the place as Devi's mindset at the time, and it all comes together to create one of the most unhinged listening experiences in the history of metal in the best possible way. One of the main lyrical themes here is love, and more specifically, intimate love. The kind of love you have for a life partner. And you can see this most, fittingly enough, on the song Love, ? It is, from my interpretation anyways, a song about how love is a chemical reaction in our brains that incentivizes us into procreation. You can see it in the opening lyrics. Love is a way of feeling. Love is a way of feeling less alone. So what's all the fuss about? Fuck it. Love. The paradox of needing. Oh love. Make way for breeding. It really simplifies the concept of love to its most basic functions in a way that feels earnest. You can see this theme in other songs as well, like the song We Ride, which is, from my perspective, a song about an unhappy couple that just fucks their problems away. This is made clear because the lyrics are basically a dude arguing with his partner, all the way up until the line, "Put it in gear, motherfucker, for tonight we ride." Hey, it's an Unleash the Archers reference about 10 years before that song. I could be misinterpreting these lyrics, and maybe there's a much deeper meaning behind them, but this is just what I see. Another lyrical theme on here is pretty much insecurity and vulnerability in regards to your demons. You see this on tracks like Skeksis, where he's basically having a mental breakdown in word form, and he tries to sort it out in the same song, but he can't. Hence the "everything about this is fucked" line. These themes all come to a head in the final track, which is an instrumental, funnily enough. Somehow, in this 11-minute experimental noise song, Devi is telling us more about his mental state than any other track on the album, despite not saying a single word. It almost feels like a computer malfunctioning left and right, and it's trying to reset itself into normal mode, but it can't. It's an auditory representation of a panic attack, and no matter how hard his mind is trying to fix it, it's just getting worse and worse. It's such a powerful moment, and it ends the album on such a haunting note. In conclusion, this album is one of the most brutally honest expressions of mental illness in the history of music. The music is masterful as well, but what stands out to me the most is the story Devin is telling us. It's the best album Devin Townsend has ever made across any of his projects, and it is one of my favorite albums of all time.